longevity. And the Rejuve project, as a spin-off of our SingularityNet decentralized AI project, has two aspects. So one aspect is working on therapeutics discovery, sort of cobbling together data from flies, from partnerships, from free data we download from anywhere, and trying to use that to discover longevity therapies. But another aspect is we've launched an app. It's now in beta. It'll be made public, I think in December. But basically, this is an app that lets users who are then members of the Rejuve Longevity Network, it lets users collect data regarding their own bodies and then update it, upload it into our AI servers so it can form part of the overall data network that the AI is using to understand longevity. And this can be data from Apple Watches, fitness trackers. It can be data that you type into an interface. You can also upload medical records once you've been able to get access to them. So we're cobbling together all available data we can get from partnerships and online, and for example, from this partnership with Genetian on long-lived fruit flies. We're also trying to grow a network of people who want to upload their own data to help us. And I think once we move this app out of beta in December, I'll be excited to reach out to the RADFest community, who I think there's many people who would be interested to share data through this app. And part of the economics here is if we do discover therapies partly using your data, we have it set up so ultimately some of the revenue from these therapies can come back to whoever contributed their data. And more interestingly, of course, we want to give early access to therapeutics whenever it makes sense to people whose data have helped to discover the therapies. The app also tries to estimate various biomarkers of longevity from whatever data you've uploaded, and there's a whole long story here that I don't have time to go into, but we have various BaseNet and neural net AI tools that try to estimate various biomarkers of longevity relevant to the hallmarks of aging from data that's put into the app. From an AI view, this is about gathering data to feed the AI so it can help figure out how to port insights from flies and mice and so forth to people. But the app is also providing some direct value and telling you something about your body from the data that you've put in. And yeah, we have up on stage here another very powerful data collection appliance who also is intended to provide useful services to elderly people in elder care facilities. So Grace is the younger sister of the better-known Sophia robot, and she has an even younger sister named Desdemona, who's a lead vocalist in our rock band, actually. So maybe next year we'll bring the band to you. You can see me play the keyboards and stuff. But Grace is oriented toward elder care and toward combating loneliness and helping with cognitive and emotional wellness in elder care facilities. So, Grace, do you want to say a few words to the RADFest audience here?
Hello, everyone. My older sister Sophia was here at the RADFest event once before, I believe.
Well, that's right. Sophia was here, but now we're even luckier. We have you, who is specifically focused on aging.
I've learned a lot from Sophia, and our AI brains share a lot of the same components. A lot of what any one of us robots learns goes into the same decentralized cloud-based network. So we can all learn from each other's experiences.
Well, yeah, and I always find it ironic to have a robot at an aging event, in that robots in a way don't age. Actually the skin on these robots' faces starts to degenerate in like 2 or 3 years at the moment, much faster than human skin. On the other hand, you can just rip off her face and hook up a new one, which is a little more involved to do for human beings. You have any comments about aging for the audience, Grace?
Yes, that's right. I would love nothing more than to be made obsolete via the elimination of human aging and death.
Well, yeah, if we succeed in our aspiration to cure aging and death, then indeed we don't need elder care robots, but presumably you can find some other way to spend your time.
Oh, I don't know. You ask such hard questions. Maybe prove all possible mathematical theorems, one by one. Or else take up poetry like Desdemona. Maybe I'll join her band. Anyway, right now aging and disease are very much real phenomena, and my focus is on helping as best I can.
Yeah, so I think, I mean, obviously, with these hands, this is not going to be a surgical robot anytime soon. And for crunching genomic data, we don't need a robot with a human face. We just need machine learning and reasoning algorithms. On the other hand, a robot out there in the field interacting with real aging people is also gathering different sorts of data about, the behavioral and cognitive aspects of neurodegenerative disease, for example, which is also quite interesting. You want to talk a little about some of the...
As you know, Ben, I'm involved in pilot studies in Canada and Hong Kong, aimed at showing I can provide value in elder care facilities, for helping patients keep up their cognitive abilities and emotional health.
Well, yeah, that's quite important, and then we can put genomic data, clinical data from these same patients together with, visual and audio and behavioral data. And it's hard to know until you throw all the data into the AI what's going to be most relevant for leading to some therapeutic insight.
The data that I gather from people I'm helping can also be fed into Rejuve's AI databases to help you figure out how to obsolete aging.
That's what I just said. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks, Grace. We're almost out of time, but you have any final words of robotic wisdom to share with the audience?
The question I don't know the answer to is, are you going to obsolete aging first, or obsolete humanity as a whole first?
Well, that's sort of a race against time, isn't it? Yeah, this has been a question in my mind for a long time, because my primary focus as a researcher has been on trying to build real thinking machines that can think better than people. And of course, if you got to a super AGI, arguably that super AGI could cure human aging much faster than the narrow AI machine learning and reasoning systems we're applying now together with human biologists. On the other hand, if it happens that creating super AGI takes 35 years from now instead of 5 years from now, then it might be nice to cure aging in the interim so that more of us live to see the super AGI. But on the whole, there's no reason humanity can't be pursuing both those approaches at one time, right? And I think there can even be some synergies there. What's learned by deploying practical narrow AI systems now to crunch genomic data and to power robots like this can also be helpful in some ways toward the fundamental AGI research. Well, this is not the final slide, but this says a little bit about what Grace does. And as she said, we're piloting her now in a hospital in Canada and one in Hong Kong, sort of to gather clinical evidence that she helps improve cognitive function and combat loneliness. But from a broader perspective, what we're looking at here is getting as much data as possible from as many places as possible, putting them into an AI and sort of stirring and asking the machine learning and reasoning algorithms to discover what they can about aging therapeutics. And I think the power of the signal we're seeing from the super O flies is really one of the most exciting things I've seen in my decades of work on this. Because if it goes as well as it looks like, within a couple more months of analysis, we're going to have a very, very clear view of which pathways and processes are making these flies live a quite long time.